The divisional round started with the Ravens dominating the Texans. Lamar Jackson threw for 2 touchdowns, ran for 2 more as the Ravens get to host a conference championship game for the very first time. Saturday night, the Niners escaped with a win over the Packers. They trailed by a touchdown entering the fourth quarter, but Brock Purdy led them on a game-winning TD drive. And in the first game yesterday, the Lions advanced past the Buccaneers to reach their first conference championship game since 1991. That was tied with Washington for the longest active drought. These Lions, they're built for this.
You're built for this. You're built for this, man. And look what you guys did. You went out there and it's another hot team that we knocked off. It's the next hot team that you knock off. Do you know how hard it is to win in this league in the playoffs? Do you understand what you're doing right now? What we're capable of? That's 2. All right? That's 2. We got 2 to go. With a bye in the middle.
Danny boy, we know you got love for Detroit. Are the Lions the best story remaining in the playoffs?
They are. And I think I'm going to take the Lions this weekend on the road in San Francisco as well. I think the Lions.
I might do that too.
I think
I'm
the way that the Lions.
What I'm going to do.
Wow.
I think the way that the Lions are running the football, specifically on the outside, the lines of scrimmage have to be a little bit of a concern for San Francisco. Here's why the Lions are the best story left in the playoff. Number one, this organization and this team have given this city something that it's kind of desired or begged for forever. Pride and respect. I was there when it wasn't good. It was the economic downturn. We stunk as a football team. There was a lot of embarrassment. And this fan base has just stayed with it and stayed with it and stayed with it. That place was electric on television on Sunday afternoon. It was spectacular to watch. The fact that they have an organization now that brings pride to them, a sense of respect. They're respected. They're really good. They've won home playoff games. They have more NFC Championship games appearances this century than the Dallas Cowboys that we talk about on a daily basis. And they got a head coach that people made fun of. They got a quarterback that people cast off. They got different players that maybe don't have household names. There's a lot of great stories left in the playoffs. This is the best one for what it represents for a city that has desperately wanted it.
It's Lamar Jackson. It's not even close. You remember when he came out, you should become a running back. You should be a wide receiver. 31 teams passed on him. It wasn't until Ozzie Newsome in his last draft traded back into the first round to select the man at 32. Guess what happened this offseason, Dan? They had a franchise tag on him in 31 teams. Now, granted, all 31 teams didn't need him, but about 15 teams said, we don't need Lamar Jackson. There is no way Lamar Jackson can come into our building and improve our quarterback situation. So they passed on him in the draft, and they told him go to wide receiver or go to running back. This offseason, 15 teams passed on him and say, no, we don't get you. But if you remember, they asked Lamar Jackson, they said, Lamar Jackson, what are the Baltimore Ravens going to get out of Lamar Jackson? He stood in front of that camera. He was disappointed because he was a Heisman Trophy winner. He said, they're going to get a bowl out of Lamar. He said, I promise you that. He's one game away from delivering an opportunity to play. Given what he's been through, given all the doubt that was surrounding him, some very prominent people that put together great championship teams said this young man that was devoid of the talent to play quarterback in the NFL. He needed to become a wide receiver or he needed to become a quarterback. You tell me a better situation where somebody told you you can't be this, and here you are now on the cusp, about to win your second MVP, an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl, and he was spectacular on Sunday. That's greatness. What you saw Lamar Jackson do against a very hot Houston Texans team, that's what you needed Josh Allen to do against the Baltimore Ravens, and maybe they're playing Lamar Jackson and not Patrick Mahomes. Lamar Jackson is the best story right now, and it's not even close.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with you, Shannon. I'm going to roll with D.O. on this one. I think your argument is compelling, but it elevates exponentially next week if Lamar Jackson goes to the Super Bowl. Right now, this week, I would say Detroit. And I'm going to, and it's not so much football, to some degree it is, but it's another element that I'm about to bring up. First of all, let's understand something. The Detroit Lions just won its second playoff game in the postseason, in the same postseason. It's the first time they did it since 1957. The first time they did it since 1957. I mean, that is just unbelievable when they won the championship before they were Super Bowls, crying out loud. I mean, this is what we're talking about here with the Detroit Lions. That's number one. So we get all of that. We know the Dan Campbell angle and when he come and what he inherited. Did you know that over the last season and a half, Dan Campbell is 20-7 as a head coach? 20-7. 20-7. He's turned that program around, and obviously you got to take that into consideration. Here's where it resonates for me, and it's just on a personal level, Shannon, D.O. Here's the deal. Detroit, phenomenal fan base.
Yeah.
Great city. Been through a lot. The downtown area, big time. The stadium, big time. But you go to other outskirts of the Detroit area, it looks like a damn desert town. I mean, I'm sitting there wondering how the hell people making money. I'm just looking. It looks like a desert town. I'm just looking at it and I'm like, what the hell is going on in this city? And then you see the Detroit Lions coming up and sort of reviving, just giving. They were on. They were on a respirator, for crying out loud, just as a city. And what this franchise has done for that city and that state, I mean, it's you gotta go there to see what I'm talking about. Because when you get away from the downtown area and when you get away from the arena, from the stadium, and then you're just driving around, I mean, it's different, man. It's different. And so to know and to see the kind of impact this is having, Lamar is Lamar. That is a spectacular story. And boy, I'm hoping he makes the Super Bowl, and that will be something special, Shannon, and you're right. But right now, seeing what Detroit was and what it has been revived into, knowing that the Lions have everything to do with that, it extends beyond football and it extends beyond the individual. And that's where I'm coming from with it.
Even as of last year, they were calling the man a running back that could throw the football.
Okay.
That's what they called him. Look at what he's been able to do. I wouldn't re-sign him because he can't stay healthy. The last 2 years, he didn't finish the season. They put the franchise tag, so you mean to tell me they're out of all 32 teams, the Ravens notwithstanding, so 31, you mean to tell me Atlanta, you mean to tell me nobody could have used Lamar Jackson? Knowing what he is, a guy that had already won an MVP, a guy that had already taken a team to the playoffs and won a playoff game. He's won the MVP, but he can't win the big game. Oh, he's done this, but he can't do that. He's silencing everybody. His mom did his contract. Well, I don't know why he let his mom do his contract. Everything that they could say negative about Lamar Jackson, and I've been one of the ones that hey, Lamar needs to play better. Lamar needs to do this. He silenced everybody. The silence is deafening. He wins this game.
He hasn't
beat Patrick Mahomes. What the Kansas City Chiefs represent in the AFC over the last 6 years since Patrick Mahomes, it changes. He wins the Super Bowl. How do you not say he's a top 10 quarterback all time? I'm willing to go that far already. With 2 MVPs and a Super Bowl, and I believe if they win the Super Bowl, he's got to be the MVP.
Right. But let me say this real quick before you go on, just as a non-football league, because I see people texting me already about the city of Detroit. I am not disrespecting the city of Detroit. I love Detroit. I love the people there. I think the fan base is phenomenal. And when you look at some of these areas, Birmingham, West Bloomfield, Grosse Pointe, Farmington, all of that stuff, I know a lot about Detroit. What I'm saying is, however, if you drive to certain parts, the metro area is big time. The inner city needs to be developed. I'm looking at it from the standpoint that I've been there, and I wish that businesses did more there. I wish that the folks there were treated better the way that they deserve to be treated. I am not disrespecting the city of Detroit. I'm saying they needed all the help that they could get, and Detroit